Did you know there's a missing part in Japanese history? It's called the lost 150 years. People even say that the void century in One Piece was inspired by this. In One Piece, the world government erases history on purpose. And in real life, it says that Japanese rulers might have erased history too. History is always written by the winners. Anything inconvenient for them gets deleted, just like Opensea Island files. So today, let's talk about this mysterious 150 years gap.
Meshida.
From the late 3rd century to the early 5th century, about 150 years of Japanese history are completely blank. And during that time, Japan changed completely. Think about it this way. Compare Japan today with 150 years ago. Technology has advanced so fast. Just look at Japanese toilets and you'll see what I mean. So imagine if the past 150 years of history were missing. People in the future would be shocked. They'd wonder, why did people start treating their buttholes with such respect? But why is this period blank? Because back then, it was said that Japan didn't use writing. History was passed down by word of mouth. That means we only know about Japan from Chinese records. But at that time, China was busy with civil wars. They didn't have time to write much about Japan. And even if something survived, it was written in China. So we cannot be sure how true it is. The first Japanese text, Kojiki and Nihonshoki, were written in the 8th century, but even though they are history books, they say nothing about these 150 years. This missing period was transition from the country of Yamataikoku, ruled by Queen Himiko, to the Yamato Kingdom, ruled by 5 kings. And after the blank years, Japan looked like a completely different country.
Meshida.
Before Japan history suddenly goes blank, Chinese records tell us about a woman named Himiko, the queen of Yamataikoku. It says she ruled Japan with shamanistic rituals, bringing peace to many small countries that were always fighting. If that's true, her way of ruling might have been better than how modern politicians just fight for money and power. Back then, there were about 30 small countries fighting each other. To unite them, the people raised up Himiko as a female leader, a symbol that everyone could follow. You could say it was the world's first diversity program. I mean DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And Himiko became a queen supported by the people. Unlike Kamala Harris, she probably had a real popularity. Chinese history books also say that Himiko rarely appeared in public. Her young brother and ministers actually ran the government, so she was more like a symbolic figure, while the real power was behind the scenes. Basically, more than 1,500 years ago, Japan was already doing politics similar to the last Biden administration. And where was Yamataikoku, the country Himiko ruled? There are 2 theories, the Kyushu theory and the Kinki theory. People have argued about this since the Edo period 400 years ago. Even now, opinions are split. Just like people arguing if they prefer 7-Eleven or Lawson. Both regions use Yamataikoku as local promotion. So there's even a kind of money game over the history. The only people who are really searching for the truth are the archaeologists.
Meshida.
After these lost 150 years, Japan suddenly changed a lot. Yamataikoku, the united country led by Himiko, was replaced by the Yamato Kingdom. It was ruled by 5 kings known in Chinese history books, the 5 kings of Wa, or Japan, San, Qin, Sai, Ko, and Bu. This was when the rulers of Japan started to be called emperors. Also, giant tombs called kofun appeared everywhere. Some say there are even more kofun than convenience stores in Japan today. They were symbols of power, but to build something that huge, Japan needed new technologies that didn't exist before. Of course, building useless giant tombs meant tons of people had to work hard under bad conditions. Even back then, just like now, new technology was built on the suffering of low-class people. Just look at child labor in Africa today. Another big change was the arrival of horses. Before the missing 150 years, horses didn't exist in Japan, but suddenly in the 5th century, century, archaeologists found tons of horse bones and horse gear in Yamato ruins. That means horses were imported during those years. For Japanese people, horses were the best animals. You could ride them to travel, and in an emergency, you could eat them raw whole. But the biggest mystery is tattoos. Before the blank ears, tattoos were a common culture in Japan. Men, whether young or old, tattooed their faces and whole bodies. People believed tattoos protected them from disasters like magic charms. But after the missing ears, tattoos became the mark of criminals. Later, in the Edo period, tattoos came back as fashion, but during the Meiji Restoration, when Japan was westernizing, Westerners saw tattoos as barbaric criminal marks. So, once again, tattoos disappeared as fashion in Japan and became symbols of the underworld. Ironically, now Westerners come to Japan to get tattoos, calling them cool. For Japanese people, this Western flip-flop is a bigger mystery than the lost 150 years. In a way, tattoos were a symbol of Japanese ancestors. Sadly, the culture was erased here. That's why I respect Australians who wear tattoos proudly, because they keep their ancestors' culture alive.
飯だ
There are mainly three theories about the missing history. First theory, Yamataikoku was attacked by horse-riding tribes from the continent. It was destroyed and then replaced by the Yamato kingdom. Second theory, the Yamato kingdom itself destroyed Yamataikoku. Third theory, Yamataikoku slowly developed into the Yamato kingdom. Personally, I think the third one makes the most sense. Here's why. Himiko, as a queen, gained real power and started something like a feminist movement. She became a symbol of woman power. She had giant Kohun tombs built. She imported horses to ride instead of riding men. And she turned tattoos, once a male symbol, into the mark of criminals. But after Himiko's death, people afraid of woman power might have brought back a male-led government. Maybe that's why they needed 5 kings at the same time, because unlike women, men aren't so good at multitasking. What do you think about lost 150 years in Japan? Please write a comment below.
飯だ
Thank you very much for watching this video. Now I'm organizing my solo stand-up comedy show YY Japan and comedy tour in the red light district. If you are interested in that, please check out the link below. So see you in Tokyo. Bye bye.